Have you ever seen someone growing fresh green herbs while everything outside is frozen solid? Sounds impossible, right? But here's the crazy part, there's a secret behind those cozy little pots sitting on balconies in January that no one really talks about. You could be growing food while your neighbors are scraping ice off their cars. Wild, huh? Most people think gardening shuts down in winter, but that's exactly why they missed the best season for it. Yeah, you heard me, winter can actually be the easiest time to start your container garden. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to turn your cold balcony into a living pantry filled with herbs, greens, and colors that won't quit even when the temperature drops. And trust me, there's one crop that'll shock you by how tough it is. Let's be real, winter can feel dead. Gray skies, short days, and you start missing that little spark of life around your home. But here's the thing, container gardening in winter isn't just about plants. It's about bringing that spark back. You don't need acres of land or fancy tools. If you've got a balcony, a porch, or even a sunny window ledge, you've got a winter garden waiting to happen. Think about it waking up, grabbing a few fresh leaves for your morning omelet, or plucking mint for a cozy tea while everyone else complains about frozen groceries. It's not a dream. It's all about picking the right crops and knowing a few simple tricks to keep them happy through the cold. And yeah, there's one mistake beginners always make that kills half their plants, but we'll get to that in a sec. All right, let's start simple herbs. They're the heart of every successful container garden, especially in winter. Why? Because herbs like rosemary, thyme, and chives are tough little warriors. They don't care if the air's chilly, they just keep growing as long as you keep their roots cozy. Basil might take a break when it's cold, but parsley, that one's a winter champ. Now, before you go filling every pot you own, wait, here's something most people never consider: drainage. Yeah, it sounds boring, but this is the line between thriving plants and soggy, frozen roots. Make sure your containers have small holes so water doesn't sit there, turning into an ice block. And here's the best part, you don't even need special soil. A basic potting mix with a little compost is enough. Oh, and here's a trick, slide those pots near a wall. Walls absorb daytime heat and release it slowly at night, keeping your herbs just warm enough to stay alive. Pretty cool, right? We'll talk about the one secret crop I swear by, but hang tight because before that, you need to know what to absolutely avoid. There's one winter plant almost nobody grows, and yet it could save you hundreds on grocery herbs. It smells incredible, looks fancy, and barely needs any sunlight. Most beginners skip it because they think it's too delicate for the cold. Spoiler, that's completely wrong. In just a bit, I'll tell you what that magic plant is. But first, let's talk about what happens when you take your container garden beyond herbs into real, edible greens that can handle the frost-like pros. This is where your balcony turns into a mini farm that even snow can't stop. When we talk about container gardening in winter, most people stop at herbs, but that's like buying half a pizza and calling it dinner. You can actually grow full-on greens and even colorful flowers that laugh at the frost. Take Kyle, for example. It's practically born for the cold. The leaves even taste sweeter after a light frost. Spinach is another one. Once it settles in, it'll keep producing fresh leaves, even when the thermometer drops close to freezing. Then there's lettuce. Just make sure you go for winter varieties like Winter Density or Arctic King. Now, here's where it gets fun. Mix in some pansies or violas among your greens. Yeah, flowers. They're frost-tolerant and they'll make your balcony look alive while also helping attract tiny pollinators when the sun's out. And remember that mystery plant I mentioned? It's sage. Yup, regular old sage. Most folks think it's a summer herb, but it's a beast in cold weather, and once it's happy, it perfumes your whole space like a natural air freshener. If you think winter kills your garden, wait till you hear this. There's something wild that happens when plants grow in cold air. They actually taste better. Crazy, right? It's nature's little trick. The cold forces plants to make sugars that act like antifreeze. That's why your winter spinach or kale tastes sweeter than the one you buy at the store. So instead of shutting down your green thumb till spring, this is the perfect season to double down. But before you rush off, there's one common mistake that ruins everything, and it's not what you think. Here's where most beginners mess up. They water their plants like it's summer. Huge mistake. In winter, plants sip water slowly, and too much moisture makes roots rot fast. So, the rule? Only water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Also, skip the heavy fertilizers. Plants in winter don't need a big energy boost. They need steady comfort. Think of it like giving them a cozy blanket instead of a caffeine shot. Another thing, light. Even winter sun is gold. Rotate your pots every few days so all sides get some love. If you live somewhere that stays cloudy forever, grab a small grow light. It doesn't have to be fancy. Even a cheap one from Amazon can keep your mini garden thriving. And for your flowers, don't forget to deadhead, just pinch off the old blooms. It keeps them producing new ones and looking fresh. Oh, and one more pro tip. Group your pots close together. Plants share warmth when they're clustered, and that tiny microclimate can make a big difference when the temperature dips below freezing. So now you know winter isn't the enemy of your garden. It's actually the secret season no one talks about. Remember those herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage? They'll hold your balcony down like loyal friends. Your greens like kale and spinach will taste better than ever. And those pansies, they'll remind you that color doesn't belong to summer alone. The real secret isn't in fancy gear or big space. It's in knowing how to work with the season, not against it. So if you've been waiting for spring to start your garden, surprise everyone and start now. Trust me, once you see life growing out of those pots while the world outside looks frozen, you'll never go back. If this video gave you a few light bulb moments, give it a like, drop your favorite winter crop in the comments, and share it with a friend who thinks gardening ends in November. Let's prove them wrong together.